Hello!
Hey!
It's us, and it's
The Frost.
the Frost on FrostCon. At FrostCon.
What is FrostCon?
In FrostCon. FrostCon was a brilliant idea by my brilliant wife, Kate, to come up with a time when we don't have children here. We are in a tiny house. Probably showing you pictures or something right now of how small it is.
Boo, 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 pick. Those are the pictures.
Those are the pictures. Because that's how it is. Like, pew, pew, pew. Picture guns.
Laser pictures.
There is not space for two little ones in here.
Please note, we didn't just leave them at home.
We did not.
They are currently with grandparents, having fun, and doing great.
Having their own special time. Because frankly, they would probably be pretty bored with what we have in store.
Oh yeah, not us.
And they would have been very scared of the movie we saw earlier today.
What movie did we see?
Because we got to see Dune.
Oh, in theaters.
In theaters, a morning movie with coffee and gluten-free bakery delights.
So good, so good.
And yeah, it was really, 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 really good.
Except for
the fact that
it ended before I wanted it to.
Right.
I was like, what's going to happen next? And it was like credits. I'm like, no!
Every spaceship, every room, every costume. Yeah.
And the music's really good. Ooh, Chef's Kiss.
Chef's Kiss.
Wow.
Like intense music.
And like the thing too is I think sometimes when you focus so much on like the special effects and the blah, 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 you sometimes forget about the acting. But there wasn't one person in the movie I was like, who did you talk to get this role? Like, why? Did we really audition and earn it? Or does someone's uncle work in the prop department? Yeah. Like,
were you owed a favor?
Were you owed a favor? Because you're not doing us any. No, it was all great. All right, back to board games. That was just
like the preamble, because FrostCon. So Kate came up with this idea that we would annually, like whenever we can figure out time to do it. Multi-annual.
Yep, a couple times a year.
There we go.
But this is the first one because we had a failed attempt this summer when one of our children got sick with a stomach bug, and we were devastated for many reasons. We felt very sorry for her, but also if you're a parent and you get anyone, if you have a thing planned and it doesn't work out, it's a bummer. So this is our redo FrostCon, where we have dedicated time, the two of us, where we can have conversations. We have a lot of junk food back here.
We do.
We planned all our food and brought a crock pot with food and
brought my trumpet. And I'm going to practice in a barn tomorrow.
Brought my book and embroidery, and it's just like time for us individually and together, but also when we play a board game at home, it's one game, and then we watch Netflix and we go to bed, which is fine. But today, we got here about 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We ate dinner.
Why did we get here at 5 o'clock? Okay. Instead of slightly earlier. We had to make a quick stop.
I forgot to pack underwear, and we had to stop at Target to get underwear. Because
whoopsie goops.
I packed.
You packed
I packed a clip for the chip bag. I packed a plastic bag for the cheese.
I mean, I had my packing and the games, and not to downplay, the games are a big part of this weekend. But you packed everything. You made this taco soup. I made the taco soup. We
planned the menu together. I did all the grocery shopping yesterday.
And no undies.
But now I got new undies.
Yeah.
So we had dinner. We put everything in its place, which again, tiny house, and we put some stuff back in the car. But we'll show you the setup later. But we've played 3 games already.
Yeah.
And it's only 8:30. And it's just
awesome.
Which is awesome. And we get to sleep in a bit tomorrow and then play coffee games, which we've talked about before. Board games with coffee in your hand. And
it's a special kind of game.
It's a special kind of gaming. And then we'll show you too, but again, with a tiny house, one of the first things we thought of was, and this might be ideas for whoever's watching in the future when they travel, we brought our own table board that Kyle uses for Game Garage. filming, and so we were able to bring that, set it up on the tiny table in the tiny house, so we could play big games and have big fun.
Ooh, nice. It fits perfectly on the and yeah,
we'll show you pictures.
Pew 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 pew. Picture guns. Speaking of guns, bullet. Nice.
Said it at the same time.
You did say it at the same time.
Shoot 'em up puzzle action.
Shoot 'em up puzzle action. This is the newest game in our collection.
We played it for the first time last night. Very fun. Soundtrack with a phone, which adds intensity.
Yep.
And it's silly and it's great. And I realized I was playing it incorrectly.
Just
and
a
then I
little bit.
fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost horribly.
Well,
no.
Because we tied both nights, last night and tonight. One of us, I think last night I died first. But then
I died first today.
The other person needs to keep going, and then you wound up dying later that round, and then we put all of our bullets in the bag, and yeah, the very first one I could take, but it's whoever takes another hit.
I bet the dust.
And then tonight, Kate died first. I also died that round, and then again, first bullet she drew was
the kill shot.
Womp womp. Super fun game. And we haven't played the co-op version yet.
Nope.
So that'll be fun.
Because then we moved on to
the original first game plan. Ooh.
Dune. What's that called when like a swipe?
Yeah.
In edit? A swipe.
Or a wipe.
A wipe.
A Dune wipe. No, the Dune. Super fun.
Especially to play after watching it today.
Yeah. You see like your friends, you're like, oh, you. Or some of them you're like,
oh, thanks. Who's the really slimy, gross guy?
Baron Harkonnen.
Man, they spared no expense in the movie to make him as disgusting as possible. They're like, you know what he should be in? A big vial vat of oil and fat.
Based on how it looked, that is exactly what was in that vat. And him in his naked body.
Fortunately, you don't see his bits, but it leaves... But yeah, anyway.
Great movie.
Great
super fun game. We got beat by the robot. So we're not going to talk about that.
And then... Seven Wonders Duel.
All these... I love how on some board game boxes, once it's been out for a little while and it's gotten accolades, they're just like, we're going to slap it everywhere like a NASCAR. And like, all of them up here.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It is a great game. And
it is.
Well done.
It's...
but we hadn't played in a while, and we really had to
the point I had to like look at the rule book to
multiple
even when we
times
went between ages, and you were like, "So how much money do we get between ages?"
We thought we got money between ages.
Money?
I was like, oh, I'm broke.
She was just broke. She was spending it all on military.
And our scores were very different, like layout of where we got our points. We were 1 point off.
Yep.
Kyle won, but that happens a lot, which makes me giggle.
1 point.
1 point. Mosey away from Ezra. Inside joke between us. Sorry, guys.
Fair.
It's board game related. But first time FrostCon.
Yep.
And we have our FrostCon book, which we started with PumpCon. It's where you write down the
same idea. It's its own book.
It's its own book. So it's blue. PumpCon is orange. And
it has a page for the
page for the one that we planned, and
FrostCon 0. These are all. So I made two things: the games that we pack, and then the games we play. And we didn't play any because it didn't happen. But this time, games we packed.
Oh, and then are you writing who won?
I was gonna write like just how many times we played it, but I figured we have some space, so I have ideas of how I can.
Cool. All right, cool. This is new to me too.
So I mean, it's not. I don't think it's not like we need to play every game because that's a variety that we have, and we'll see how many we get.
We've got time,
Maybe we'll come back to some of them another go around, but that's where we keep track of it. And then every so often we'll just have a little this sort of little thing. Filming.
Nice. So you're going to see us in different outfits and different times of the day. And you know what would be actually cool? If we did like a little like filming around the tiny house. Action, not just sitting, but like...
So,
this is what happens when we don't have children by us.
We also have... I got this from the middle school that I teach. like every now and then the library just gets rid of like old stuff that they haven't been using, and it's like a fraction die. It is a 10-sided die, and it's the biggest fraction is 1. The smallest one is 1/100th.
I got 1/10 when we rolled.
So it's just kind of like a funny, because it has like 3/5, 1/20th, a quarter, a half, 3/4, and so it kind of makes you use your brain, your noggin a little bit to see if you're any of those, like, you know, when I got 1, she got 1/10. That's easy, but 3/5 and 3/4, which is, well, that's actually pretty easy.
For you,
3/5 and 2/3. How about that? Are those
For you-
options?
I don't know. It's easy for you, maybe not for someone else.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Well, that's for our first little installment of FrostCon Trout Lily Farm.
Yeah, that's the name. We forgot to say that earlier. Trout Lily Farm. Look it up. Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Look it up. Okay.
Well, see you later. So here is the view from the outside. And here's the barn and the baby apple trees and the bigger apple trees over there. And here's Kate.
Hi.
We're just exploring outside, and we're gonna go show you the outside of the tiny house.
Come with us.
The wildlife keeps saying hi to us. Our blinds are drawn because the sun is kind of intense.
Beautiful but intense, and it keeps up the space pretty well.
Turns out suns are hot. And then they have this outside area, and it's 50 degrees and kind of windy, so we'll see if this is gonna work. But we brought a couple of games
To play outside.
outside. Can you see those? There they are. So we're gonna give it a shot, and then we'll show you in there after.
Hi. We're outside of our tiny house for FrostCon. Can we take you into the tiny house? All right.
Nods head. Ooh, we just played 2 games, or wild games, and we went 1 and 1. It was
Sharing the wins.
sharing the wins. There's the running shoes, because anyone who's a runner knows.
They should stay outside.
Gross.
Okay.
Oh, we have a doorbell.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Shall we go in?
I feel like I'm on a TV show. Okay.
I mean, kind of. You
All
are.
right. We're gonna close this because this area does carry a lot of flies.
We've already used this bad boy quite a bit.
But this is a ladybug, so we're gonna let them stay. So
Sure.
should we start this way over?
Sure.
Okay, so very sizable bathroom, which has been lovely, and this toilet is like a composting toilet, but it doesn't smell. We definitely had to look at the instructions, and men or people who prefer to pee standing up, because they need to sit down.
Yep.
It separates. And then a nice shower, and
And a trumpet hanging on the back of the door.
trumpet hanging on the back of the door. Nice fridge. We packed all of our food. Obs. Definitely feels tiny with like suitcases and stuff. We did not clean up for you guys.
No.
But under here is a stove, which we used this morning, and so they used.
We brought a crock pot because we're very cool.
And so they used a nice job with this space. And then this is very exciting, the Game Garage table topper. Because when I showed Kyle, I booked the tiny house, and when I booked it, I was so excited, and then I was like, how are you going to play games? Kyle to the rescue. And we had the windows, the shades closed, but this is what we're working with in terms of our view, and it's really nice with the sun setting, and the barn where Kyle will trumpet later, and then tiny house living. This is where we put our stuff when we're in this area.
And then this area is where we put it when we're sleeping.
Yeah, so we just kind of rotate. Let me open this.
Ooh. So it's a really nice view, but sometimes the sun and the glare can be a little bit much. And also, by the time we showed up yesterday, it was pretty warm in here.
Pretty warm.
And the fan is kind of loud, so if we don't need to use it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so really comfortable bed. And they've made it wonderful, and they had a bunch of, obviously, dishes, and they've kept it really nice, and we're drinking a lot of coffee. Coffee. And it's just great. And we haven't utilized this yet, but this table does fold down, which is nice. So
if you want to dance.
If you want to dance, which, I mean, it hasn't happened yet in FrostCon. And then I also want to show off, so this is celebrating our 6-year wedding anniversary. We've been together for 10, which is crazy. And so I made, for our anniversary, matching FrostCon shirts. We will pew, 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 pictures of us, and then someone's got to lose. So, from the wonderful late Grandma Aiken, who
wasn't as big of a sport fan as the late wonderful Grandma Frost, and when she thought she was being helpful, reminding that someone's got to lose,
was not helpful.
It was not terribly helpful.
Family joke. But that's our...
the book.
Oh, and then the book, which we need to add our 2 outdoor games with. But I'm gonna...
So we're already doing a dent in the games that we brought. Way more so than FrostCon Zero. Where we played 0 games.
And then... there it is. Very cool.
And then last thing, and then we might get back to playing some games. In our pile of things, bag 1, which is pretty much all of them, and then a few more games that come in here, including in our ButtonShy bag. So, including Tesla vs. Edison.
Which I actually played for the first time, because last time I watched like a co-op game and I didn't like it. I was like, oh, the game is little. It's awesome. I lost, but it's great. So Tesla versus Edison. Tell your friends.
I knew you could say that. Well, it's 5 p.m. We just played 2 games of Pandemic Fall of Rome. We got rocked in the first one and a full alliance victory in the second. Time to go make some noise. Kyle, did you go back up there to get that shot? Yeah, bud. You betcha. Ooh. Don't tell Kate. Hello again.
Hello.
It's the
Last day.
The second morning. It was just a short trip, but we got a lot of stuff in. We just totaled it up actually. 16 different games, 16 games of 10 different ones. I probably could have said that in a better way.
We got you. There were a couple where one of us, usually me, died pretty quickly, and so we had to quickly do it again. Or like last night when we played, was it Space Wild?
Wild Space.
Wild Space.
So close.
Clip it. What? It's just a fun game, and we hadn't played that in a while, and it's a quick one, so we played it again.
When it's even, I mean, obviously now we don't have the constraint of children's bedtimes and all that sort of stuff to worry about. But when a game's on the table, there's part of your brain, maybe just as a parent, we're more tuned to like efficiency. And we're thinking like,
it's here.
All right, so it's on the table, it's already set up. Do we just want to like give it another go or put it away and then maybe have to set it up again later?
Yep.
And sometimes Bullet, that came out.
The one game
again
this morning.
One game this morning. We tried the co-op mode,
which was really fun.
It was really fun. Difficult. Apparently, especially for me, because we were playing new characters. We have seen 7 of the 8 characters from the game.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Only one that we haven't played. And
hope it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It's the one who has the protection for the colors, so that seems pretty. So we're saving her for last.
Okay.
But
a lady.
They're all ladies.
I didn't know.
They're all heroines.
Oh, even cooler.
Right.
Clearly, I was paying attention.
Right. So we both had 2 new characters.
Okay.
One each, and we're doing Hell on Wheels. So for anyone who's played, this is the one that messes around with your sight and moves all your bullets around. Kate only had 3 health. She was playing the Triangle Priestess one, and that was kind of scary. Only having 3 health.
Only lost 1.
I only lost 1 in the. So it was the second round of the game. I lost 1. And then forgot that we had just talked about which way the bullets were going to go. And 3 red bullets just shifted off to the side. And I took my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th hit. And
it was a bloodbath.
And I know that we could have kept going. And it's hilarious because usually the bullets that wind down there are mostly 4s, some 3s, maybe a 2. There were 3 1s in there. So it was just kind of a fun look. So Kate could have kept going and trying to defeat the boss on her own, but
it's a co-op game.
That's not what FrostCon's about.
No. And also, we are about 45-50 minutes from our house, and we're all packed up. We're going to head home and kind of get the house ready, back to reality, kids and grandparents coming back and just kind of decompressing back at home before the little ones return. But it's been a great first official FrostCon. Lots of games.
Right, after...
Great food.
FrostCon.
Why? We don't have to keep bringing it up.
Well, we bring it up because now we've defeated it. FrostCon number 0 is for a long time, that was the only thing in the book.
Yeah.
So it feels good to say now there has been a FrostCon. I'm putting a little bookmark here, and boop, and a little purple booklet will be ready.
Is it it's purple. Never mind.
It's like
bluish purple.
Yeah.
It's a violet.
We'll be ready for next time. But before then, we have a different little booklet, an orange one. Pumpcon is coming up. So very excited. If we didn't say it before, as parents, it takes extra effort as adults, but parents, I think, even especially, to take that time to get games to the table. And we have found out after I went to GeekCon, I know we talked about this once before on Frost Talk, about how GeekCon showed us like what you can do when you like assign a name and like make it this like thing that an event. And was the first year we did PumpCon. We've done it each year since, even last year, which was outside. We're still going to do it in the garage this year. So we have more room to spread out, just because I think even if we're all vaccinated and feel safe, like we're just all our brains are a little hardwired to feel weird indoors. Yep. But yeah, that's why FrostCon, but what was supposed to be the first one, was kind of so hard when it didn't happen, because you assign by giving it a name and an event, then it's easier to put into your schedule. Yep. And you're like, oh yeah, it's this thing. We have this big thing to look forward to. And then it didn't happen. And so that was
it has since happened.
A pretty big bummer, but
We made up for it.
We made up for it.
And our first experience, and not last, in a tiny house.
That's right.
Very fun to vacation in.
And
I would not want to live in one.
no, I also would not.
It was fun.
Composting toilet. First time using that, and
We survived.
not bad. Yeah. I mean,
Doesn't smell either. It's a
doesn't
nice
smell,
one.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Magic.
I've
Poop
been on
magic.
enough poop magic. I've been on enough what you call them, like buses, coach buses, with the toilet in the back to know that even with all the blue goop down there, that does not smell after a little bit. So I don't know how this thing works, but
Tiny
I'm
house magic.
thankful for it.
Tiny house poop magic.
Tiny house poop magic. There it is. THPM. Tiny house poop magic.
Wow. You have been in the Army too long.
Fact.
LMNOP. ABC. F. G. TQ.
Classic.
Army.
LNOP. TCF. P. You can score at home to see how I did repeating those letters.
You did pretty well.
I think I did pretty accurate. But
Okay.
with
Well,
that, we're
enough
gonna
of us.
pack up our last things to the car and head back home.
Let's
Thank
cheers.
you.
Let's cheers to coffee,
Tink.
FrostCon.
Coffee and FrostCon.
Love you.
I love you. Well, cheers you too.